Welcome to the channel where I provide daily content on the world of sport. In today's video I want to try and answer one of the questions of 90s cricket. Wasim Akram versus Waqar Younis, who was better? Before I start with the analysis I have to be clear that I am completely independent. I am an English cricket fanatic and really like both bowlers. I remember when I was a teenager checking the cricket scores from around the world in the 90s, it seemed like either Wasim or Waqar were getting 5 wickets every game. They were just so dominant and so skilled. So how do I compare the two? I have decided to split this video into 5 areas, starting with a fun one: pace. Sadly, both cricketers were probably in their prime in terms of out-and-out pace before speed guns were commonplace. They went about their business in completely different manners as well. Wasim was off a short run and had almost a hurried action at the crease, hardly jumping at all in his delivery stride. Waqar on the other hand had a much longer run-up which gained speed smoothly until he was really firing at his delivery stride. Waqar had more of a slingy action, not Shoaib slingy but still not all shoulder like Wasim seemed to be. After watching a lot of footage I have to give Waqar the edge in terms of sheer pace. Wasim was still quick and often surprised batsmen with short balls, but I genuinely think some batsmen were scared of Waqar in his prime. So that's 1-0 to Waqar. The next category I am going to go with is skill, and it's incredibly difficult to separate the two men. They were both incredibly skillful, really bringing reverse swing to the masses. In terms of out-and-out movement in the air I give the nod to Waqar. In this footage look how he is getting the ball to move both ways depending on if it was a right-handed batsman or left. I think Wasim used his natural angle to come across the right-handers a bit more and would nip the ball off the seam. Don't get me wrong, he could still swing the ball both ways also. So who do I give the point to? It is incredibly difficult, but I am just going to lean towards Wasim. I think he just had slightly more tools in his toolbox than Waqar, and where he was a touch slower he was smarter and could outthink batsmen. So we're at 1-1. The third category is one which is a bit easier to compare, and that is their statistics. Wasim averaged 23.5 in both Test and One-Day cricket, showing that he was adaptable and consistent. He also had excellent strike rates in both formats, 54 and 36 respectively. Waqar amazingly averages almost exactly the same as Wasim in both formats. Where they differ is that Waqar has a better strike rate in both, but Wasim has better economy rates. I think that is a nice image of the two for me, in that Wasim was more controlled and skilled, but Waqar was an out-and-out strike bowler. When all is said and done, their statistics are so similar that I can't split them. I will award them both a point. So we're at 2-2. The next category I would like to compare them in is longevity and consistency over time. For me, this was the easiest category to choose between them, in that both through memory and reviewing their performance it is clear who kept their standards highest for longer. That man is Wasim Akram. Firstly, there is the obvious in that Wasim played more games and took more wickets over the course of his career than Waqar. Then you have got the fact that Wasim kept taking wickets at a good average for year upon year. Waqar on the other hand started much brighter than Wasim and for a period of 5 years was averaging 18 in Test cricket, truly unheard of, but he struggled to maintain that and fell back over time. That is evidenced by the fact in the second half of his Test career he averages 27. Wasim on the other hand averaged 22. So for consistency I give the point to Wasim, making it 3-2 in his favour. I am calling this last category miscellaneous. It is a wrap-up of all the things I think are important in a great player. Firstly, I want to look at how they did against the best sides of their era. Against Australia over the course of his career, Wasim averaged 25.7. Interestingly, he was even better in Australia than he was playing him at home, taking his wickets at 24 a clip on Aussie soil. If we compare that to Waqar, his average versus Australia overall was 33.8 and in Australia it was 40. For this category I also reviewed their home and away statistics, as I think the true greats should be able to succeed wherever in the world. Outside of Pakistan, Waqar averages 26. Wasim on the other hand averages 24.6. The last little bit of miscellaneous data I would like to look at is their batting. It will be no surprise that Wasim is better. They're also scoring more runs at a comfortably higher average than Waqar. So for the miscellaneous category I award Wasim the point. So what are the final scores? Overall, Wasim Akram wins by 4 points to 2. Although I didn't have a horse in the race, I do think that is a fair result, in that over the course of their career Wasim was the better player. With that said, however, at both of their absolute peaks, for a period of around 4 to 5 years, Waqar Younis was the best bowler on the planet. My point is evidenced by their ICC rankings over time. Waqar was number 1 for around 4 years with a peak ranking of 909 points. Wasim on the other hand peaked at 830 points with a number 2 ranking, but maintained his levels for much longer. I think it goes without saying that both these players are all-time greats, and all teams around the world breathed a sigh of relief when they hung up their boots for the last time. Thanks for watching, fellow cricket fans. Follow for more content like this.